Here we go. That's right. We'll try something new in the beginning over there. So that was exciting. Yeah, that's actually me in a helicopter. Um, Tom, friend Tom pilots helicopters and other things, jets and things like that. So he asked me if I was interested in taking a flight with him. I was like, yeah, count me in without a doubt. So that's where that photo came from. So any of these photos that I'm in, I've actually been there, done that to an extent. I was in the co-pilot seat and I never touched the control on that one. And that top of the mountain, yep, made it up there too, and that kind of thing. And well, there's a few other photos. So just try to do something new and different. And it's really the message over here is trying something that's new and different and continue to explore those possibilities. Oh, and they get to be exciting and worthwhile. Worthwhile to you, yeah, worthwhile to us as individuals, worthwhile to our communities, to the people that are around us, to the people we don't know, to the businesses. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. To the entertainment side of things, absolutely. To the overall economy of Long Island, absolutely. Absolutely. Isn't it the game, though? This is what we're all about, is trying to just better everything, you know, trying to get that good stuff out there more and more and more and more, and trying different things, trying to make things happen in different ways. That's really what it's all about. I think that's what it's all about. So, yeah, I just want to show you something here. Let's do a little shared screen on this one. Want to play this video for you? You're going to love this. I think you're going to love this. And this is what it's all about. Here we go. Facebook, boom, bam. Gotta love that stuff. All right, so here's what we're chatting about here today: the racetrack, not street, the HIA trade show, the Hauppauge Industrial Association trade show, the ECNY Foundation, Executive Consultants of New York, career employment options. We're talking about the manufacturing group that is over and through the HIA. Talking about Ron Loveland. We're talking about all of these people that are trying to do a lot of the same things differently and in their own aspect of it, inclusive of, the town of Riverhead, that area. Tourism is another big one too. Town of Islip, MacArthur Airport. I could continue on and on over here as to how much everything impacts everything else. The Miller Business Center. Those folks are absolutely terrific too. Your libraries. Had a conversation with somebody yesterday about that whole aspect of the libraries and where that whole thing grows. Is it so many things? Is it too many things? Is it all over the place? The answer is not really. Not really, because a lot of it comes back to the betterment of, the excitement of. Hey, look, for me, I enjoy the new project kind of a thing, working with people, introducing people. So I just get a kind of shown a lot of different things. It's not that I'm doing a lot of different things, just showing a lot of different things. And then there's a few projects that I like to get a little bit more involved with that really I think can have a real impact. But it's getting involved with. It's still not the doing. There's a lot of people that are doing, and I really got to give so many of them so much credit. Absolutely. Career employment options. Let's take one. All right. They are coordinating these career days at the schools. They were doing it online for the past couple of years. Very involved in helping the high school, the high school age students see what careers are possible, helping getting them placed. They work greatly, really a lot of effort with the special needs community too. They also spend a lot of time working with, in this case, the town of Hempstead. They're also working with a lot of businesses. This way they can match up in possible employment, for a lot of these students. Great stuff. The success, phenomenal. Love working and being a part of their effort. Miller Business Center. Miller Business Center. They run these events all the time. There's another one coming up very soon with Robert Kratzky. Robert talks about how to use the Microsoft system effectively, efficiently. Great stuff. Great resource. Great resource. Love being able to share some of the stuff that's going on over there. The racetrack, not street. Long Island needs a drag strip, people. Boy, That's really turned into something that was just like a fun thing to do. Well, it's become much more than that. So, that aspect of it, I've been asked to go out and do the announcing on that one. So, Jay, if you ever hear this thing, you wouldn't believe it, but it's actually true. I'll be announcing the car races this year, and April 2nd is when that begins. But that has been so much more than just the entertainment of it. It's good fun, good family fun. Met so many great people that are a part of it, so many great business owners that are a part of it, so many great fans, the spectators. They're all wonderful people. And the message that they will delivering, they continue to deliver out, and they continue to participate, and they did with HIA trade show last year, is the fact that their effort with the drag strip and the racing and stuff like that, building of cars, events too, entrepreneurism, supports so much of the vocational aspects inside of these schools, these high schools, which have done a phenomenal job of affiliating themselves with various institutions, whether it be colleges, many of them are, got side by side programs with them. Many of them are affiliated with different business institutions also. And a lot of businesses are reaching out to the schools. They're participating in many of the programs that are going on inside of these schools because altruistic? Well, I think in some respects it absolutely is. Some of these people just bend over backwards. Absolutely incredible what they're doing. Realistic? Without a doubt. Without a doubt. Because there are so many career possibilities here, not just jobs. I'm talking about career possibilities, here on Long Island. And I wonder how many students today understand the potential of what we have over here, of what careers are available here on Long Island. So, yeah, drag strip, what is that going to do? Well, again, if you take that automotive, that car that's being built inside of a auto shop program, inside of a school, maybe through BOCES, Wilson Tech, inside the high school itself, many of the high schools have programs. And from what I've learned, a few of them want to continue to or add to it or create a program inside the school, the shop program. What do you actually learn by building a car? Quite a bit. I think you learn quite a few things that are just not just the car. You learn about blueprints. Yes. You learn about welding. Yes. You learn about working with steel. You learn about how steel actually crushes tubular strength. That was a term I learned over the past couple of years. We're talking to my friend Dennis Catoni, who actually is part of but he builds race engines and he has his own car. And he was explaining that to me about how important it is for the car to absorb an impact, should there be one. Hopefully there isn't, as opposed to the body yourself absorbing it. So you get that crush zone. If you follow car racing, you learn a lot about that. If you're in your own automobile, you actually have that feature built into your car. You may not know it, and hopefully you never do know it. Hopefully you never have any kind of an accident. But cars are designed to crumple a little bit around you. This way it's not just you taking the impact. This is stuff that you learn. But I think a lot of the softer skills are just as important to many people. Learning about leadership skills, teamwork skills, learning about how to manage a project, whatever it might be, throughout your high school in different programs and things like that. It's great stuff. And it's not necessarily just building a car, it's everything that goes along with that. These are all resume items. That's the incredible part. These are all resume items that can be applied into different places. So now, what's going on over here? Why do I mention these three things and like a lot of other supporting pieces on the whole thing? Because I want you to get involved. That's exactly it. I want you to get involved. Now, if you enjoy auto racing and drag racing, well, you go out there as a spectator and do that. If you looking to go to a business show, you got the Miller Business Center, have the Strictly Business event coming up in May, and you got the HIA trade show coming up later on in May that you could just attend. But I'm going to ask you and give you the opportunity right now, and I'd love to get some more folks involved in this whole thing about some of the messages that we're really trying to deliver out with this, with everything. So let's go. And I think the big event in and of itself will really be the HIA trade show. That'll be the big event. But let's take the Long Island Needs a Drag Strip, the racetrack. All right, so the first race is going to be April 2nd. It's going to be a number of races in April. Then there's going to be a hiatus until August. Then August, September will be the rest of the racing season. So for those of you that are driving your cars in some places you don't really shouldn't be driving your car, this is a great place to go and do that. Now, let's say focus on the business side of things. Business side of things. For those of you who own businesses that are part of that racing community, you understand how important it is for these high schoolers and others in college that how important it is, for them to really understand what it is that they really want to do and do for a living. Because of those of you that I've gotten a chance to meet, I'd venture to say that many of you have taken your hobby and turned it into a career. Many of you have taken your hobby, there's things you like to do as a kid, and all of a sudden you're now a business owner and you're physically doing and making a living and a good living at those things that you just did as a teenager. Well, here's my challenge to you. And these are all the folks that are going out there racing the cars, are part of a team. And there's been a lot of folks that are there that have their own businesses. Some of them professional racers have got a little bit more professional team behind them. Some have got some corporate sponsorship or local sponsorship. Some not. Some of them, you know, some of those folks just have the nice car. They've been doing it as a hobby and just looking for some place to see what it could do on a legal track, not on a street. That's where that name come, racetrack, not street, can do down that way. So those of you that have these businesses, you understand the importance of having employees that are engaged, truly engaged in what it is that they're doing. Now, here's the thing that I'm looking to deliver out, and I got another career day coming up also in the Mauritius area that I'll be attending. So if you're interested in participating, please let me know. That's with the CEO, Career Employment Options. But your message is not how great it is to work at your company and not the rest of that stuff. But your message is going to be how important it is for our students today, 10, 11, 12th graders, maybe younger, a little bit older, to go and really take a hard look to see what it is that they are really good at doing. Those things that they say I just know how to weld, or I just know how to draw, or I just fool around with cars and know how to make them quicker, or I just, whatever that just may be. That's a career. That's not a job. That's a career. That could be a very inspirational career. Gosh, I've seen so many people and have learned so many people throughout the years, actually, with interviewing folks on this program, on the Blog Talk Radio Show, on so many other places where I've got to meet successful entrepreneurs or successful employees within companies because they are just doing what they love to do. Yeah, that, if you do what you love to do, you never have to spend a day at work because you're just doing what you want. Okay, that could be true. Hopefully that is true. But not only that, that person, will be the one that would excel unbelievably because they have an insatiable appetite for that career, for that industry, for that project, for that thing that they are building or that they want to know about, and they want to know everything about it. They'll work through any challenge. Man, that is fantastic. So you, my friends, if you want to get in front of the student population, here's the challenge. Give me a call. Whether it be a career day inside of a school, whether it be a career day online someplace, whether it be the career day and the opportunity to interact with a lot of students at the HIA trade show, the Hauppauge Industrial Association trade show, or the Miller Business Center. They have an event coming up in March too, where they have students coming out. I think it's going to be primarily high school students coming out. It's at night, to go meet people, to meet business owners like you, to learn what it is that you are doing, and maybe to see themselves in you, and maybe you'll see yourself in them, that younger version of you as you go and do. All right, the HIA trade show. Let's go with that one, the Hauppauge Industrial Association trade show. And this is where we're going to really try to bring a lot of this stuff together. Karen, good afternoon to you. This is the one that we're going to try to bring a lot of this together. All right. And that is going to be, it's May 26th. It's at the Suffolk Community College it's the Brentwood campus. So we're back at the original facility. They've been doing it at for years. So that's really exciting. So space is, space is never unlimited. But there's going to be outdoor stuff. They'll have some food trucks that'll be outside. I'm speaking to a few vendors that where it would be appropriate to be outside. Inside, I don't know how many they fit, but it's hundreds of different vendors could be inside. They have pavilion sponsors, all kinds of things. But they're also going to have panel discussions, and this is one of the things that we're working on right now. Let's take this career day item thought process in place, and this is again where everybody can get involved. And boy, I would love to see the auto manufacturers involved in this thing. But Ron Loveland and his team, which is the manufacturing committee, they are planning a discussion. We're looking at doing something also, maybe with them, maybe separate. Whereas we have the job seekers that are interested in attending this thing, maybe some high school students attending, hopefully, and the expectation is the workforce development staff members at the different schools in different areas, and those people that are interacting with the students attend this. And the discussion will center around what people could do if they're preparing for a career and what they could do on their resume or put up on their LinkedIn profile, what things they could do today to make them a much more suitable and very easy to see suitable candidate for these companies. This goes back to that, the young man or woman that's in an automotive program. I'm just going to pick automotive, as that one. Let's assume it's somebody that really knows how to weld. Get photos of yourself welding. Put it in over there, how you did it, a photo of the final product that you put out. Because look, if you really could weld and can really weld thin metal, there's an unbelievable career in front of you. And those manufacturers that are there, we're talking about automotive, but it's not just automotive. It's the aircraft manufacturers there. Fantastic stuff. And these cars, when we talk about cars that are, going a little bit more lightweight, so we got the plastics, composites materials. Oh, unbelievable how much of an industry that is here on Long Island. I never thought there was that much manufacturing going on over here until a number of years ago. And this is when I was involved, still am, with the town of Brookhaven. We were doing the Brookhaven job fairs. And then I learned about all the manufacturing that takes place over here. There's a lot. This is why the whole idea of a train, railway for freight cars, is so important because it would get some of the trucks off the road, reduce traffic that way, wear and tear on the expressway, et cetera, et cetera. But there's a lot of manufacturing that are going on over here. Did you know? I didn't know. Oh, there's one composite company I'd love to tell you about, and I will on a future one. I'd love to get them on over here. But wow, the stuff they're doing is super, super high end. We're not talking about just making plastic bottles, but there's so many companies that do that stuff too. And they're looking for employees, people that are really interested in doing it. And look, if you bought a bottle of water recently, hey, Kathy, how are you? If you bought a bottle of water, I don't know, let's call it a couple of years ago, and you buy a bottle of water today, I don't know if you've noticed it, but I did. That plastic has gotten a lot thinner, right? And it's just as strong. The water's not leaking, but it's gotten a lot thinner. So I venture to say, because I don't know, I don't make bottles, that plastics have gotten thinner and stronger. Somebody had to go figure that out to make that work. All right, we've shifted so far away from metal cans, right? Into plastics. It's plastics. Hey, maybe that the movie was right. The future is plastics. It's right. So if you're, working in that and that's something of interest to you, man, there's a whole industry there. And there's so many manufacturers that have got unfilled positions. So they're going to be at the HIA trade show, the Hauppauge Industrial Association trade show. And what we are looking to accomplish, slightly different aspects of it, but we're still, Ron and I, definitely on the same page over here. What we're looking to do is to help identify current or future employees for these manufacturers, and these manufacturers are looking for current employees. This is probably the only place we'll kind of differ a little bit, because I do career days in high schools, right? So it's not necessarily people ready to go to work, but people considering careers, where Ron is looking to help these manufacturers get employees. It's the only difference there. So we're going to reach out to another group of people there that are focusing on the current job force, so the current people that are looking for positions. So it's going to be very, very exciting as that goes. And that's the only reason we're kind of like figuring out the message there a little bit. Maybe do one combined, a separate, who knows? Whatever it is, it's all going to be good. And you could participate because we're looking to reach out to those people. But the idea of this whole thing is that there are so many possibilities here. So in the manufacturing on Long Island, it's immense and it continues to grow. It's not the smokestacks that you would think to see back in the, back in the 70s, 80s, everything's a smokestack. That's not it. It's not it. We're talking about clean energy. You're getting, that side of it too. And those manufacturers are making things and they're making things here. They've got headquarters here. Maybe they're making stuff in different places too, but there's a lot going on here on the island, a lot of potential for careers. And I hope that there is not a disconnect between those looking for careers and those that actually have careers here. Because if there is, it's that's the connection we really want to try to make. And that's the thing. So again, how do we do that? The automotive side of it, the drag strip, that's an attention grabber, isn't it? It really is, between Riverhead Raceway and the drag racing. And the Riverhead Raceway is a slightly different thing, because it's a circular track. This is a dragway. So it could be street legal cars, but it's not necessarily, well, most of it, is not the street legal side of things, with the raceway, but the drag strip is. Most of those cars are street legal cars that are racing down there. Everybody's got to have a muffler and all the rest of that kind of stuff. And if you don't have a muffler, you're not racing. Some of the folks that have got the not street legal cars that do race them on other places, well, they're thrilled to. I should say they're happy to. Maybe not thrilled to put a muffler on, but they do put the muffler on because they got to, fit within the rules over here. But I can tell you one thing they are happy about is the fact they don't have to get the car, put the car, trailer the car over the bridge and do that. Because when they just have to go out to Calverton, for a day of racing, they actually wake up in their bed in the morning and then they come home at night and they stay in the same bed. It's not a whole weekend adventure going out, and it's a lot easier to go over here, and it's great. And the whole family comes out, so it's great fun. Really, it's really great fun. But that's an interesting attention grabber for so many different places when it comes to the racing. Because, we brought it to some of the schools and those schools just loved it. Brought it to a few other groups of people and they also kind of loved it. And there's so much more I'd like to say on that one. Some of it, I don't have the details that I'd like to share. But I will tell you one program that did take place last year. This alludes to it very closely. And they're going to be back this year. It's called Beat the Heat. These are former police officers that have cars that are painted like police cars, and some of them might be retired police cars. Others are cars that have been confiscated, but they take these cars and they race them down the track against everybody. And if you beat them, if you beat the heat, you get a T-shirt. But that's only part of the story, what they do. What the whole idea of Beat the Heat is to go and interact with various communities, is to go and perhaps reduce, I'd love to say eliminate, but at least reduce the illegal street racing. Maybe drunk driving is another thing too. If you have events that are taking place on a Friday night, Saturday night, and everybody's out at these tracks that are dry tracks, no alcohol at all, no alcohol at all. And the people are out there racing their cars, there's no alcohol at all. Not only that, it's safer. You race a car down the drag strip over there and things go wrong, you're going to hit a concrete barrier that's parallel with you, not perpendicular. In other words, you don't go like that and come to a complete halt immediately. It's like if you're hitting a fire hydrant, a tree, another car, or worse. We've all seen those videos, but you're hitting a parallel, the wall is parallel with you, the concrete, and you slide down there. Do you do damage to the car? Yeah, without a doubt. But it's a safe environment. You got some of the safety features inside the car. And again, it's not extensive. It's not that extensive, but you're wearing a seatbelt. You got a helmet on, even rolling the window up, stuff like that. And you're not going to hit anything that's going to be that bad in that respect, including anybody that's innocent. So you got that's going to take place over there. Boy, wouldn't that be a great thing to kind of further? But the careers is the other thing. There's so many aspects of this thing. If there was a permanent track, the amount of money that would bring into the area, and they did see it last year. Again, I can't quote numbers. Love to be able to do that. Can't quote numbers though. But there was an uptick in people going out to restaurants and some of the hotels. I know Hotel Indigo is actually has a deal going on for those that are coming out to the races. So obviously they've seen it, and I know East Wind Caterers, and that is a hotel and catering hall. They were hosting car shows, have been for years. So they see the benefit of this thing too. Love to expand upon that. And that's going to bring me to my final thought over here with regards to the trade show and why we're going to use that as a whole thing to bring everything together. So the Hot Dog Industrial Trade Show is May 26th. Big event, which means multiple messages could be put out over there. And I'm looking for you to help with those messages. So the two that I want to focus on. One of them is the career aspect of it. So if you normally interact with high schools or colleges, I highly encourage you to bring them down there to the show, because the manufacturer is going to be there, and they're going to be there in full force along with that discussion, but they're also just going to be there. So there'll be a lot of private conversations about career possibilities. Now, if you can't make it or you can't make it that day, by all means, the connections though that will be there for future events will without that take place. So that'll be important, and I will certainly be there along with a few other designees that'll be there throughout the day in and around that area. But you'll know exactly who to look for. It'll be really, really super clear as that goes. Obviously, the other side of this thing is going to be fits in a little bit more, maybe with the drag strip and the whole thing. But it's that whole idea of boosting the economy on Long Island, Long Island tourism. Now, a lot of this is going to take place with the efforts of the HAA. I'm not taking credit, on this one, but I know that they have reached out, and Town of Islip, very much a participant in what's going on with the HIA trade show. Also, MacArthur Airport. There's been a couple of new airlines over at the airport, specifically Breeze Airways. I think Frontier too now. So, there'll be hopefully there'll be some participation over there. Then you talk about the tourism aspect of it. Few of the conversations that have taken place with our friends over in the Riverhead and Hamptons, the rest of that. Boy, if you get people from other areas of the country, including New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, which is where a lot of the racers go, which maybe they could bringing those races from those areas over here to enjoy some of the aspects of Long Island, including the hotels, the wineries, the golf courses, the beaches, etc., and some of those other fun things that are out here. Well, you know what? That's not a bad thing. Who benefits from that? Well, in essence, I think we all do. Hey, look, the travel business is pretty big. Tourism business on Long Island, very big. It really is. What does all of this mean? It means careers. In fact, I know actually one of the school systems, high school system, they have programs inside the high school, and it's all about like the tourism side of things, running a hotel and a restaurant inside of a hotel and all the rest of that. Big business, huge careers. Boy, and if you're someone who loves wine, the wine industry on Long Island continues to grow. What about food? High-end restaurants. We're seeing a lot more restaurants continue to open over here. And a new one just in the Smith Haven Mall just opened up, Ruth Chris's Steakhouse. Something. And that's an entrepreneur. There's a story for you, too. How that whole thing got started. It's pretty interesting. But it all starts with a young person or somebody that is really focused on what it is that they love to do. And that's where the massive potential is from. And that is the one common thread about this whole thing, is that I'm hoping that you can help me foster amongst everybody. But there's too many people that are just unhappy doing what it is that they do. That's not good. If everybody was doing what they love to do, that'd be great. Everybody. Boy, wouldn't that be nice? If everybody in this world got a chance to see what their true potential is, and we could focus on growing Boy, wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't that be nice? And that's what it's about. And that stuff definitely starts here. So there you go. So if you want to inspire somebody to follow and find a career and see what it is that they love to do, that they just do because it's that easy for them to do, that natural ability is there, well, stick around. It's going to be a real super exciting summer. And it begins well, basically now, does it not? So reach out. Reach out to the schools, other businesses. There's so many different ways to participate in this thing. Make it work. Inspire somebody. And you know how to do that, don't you? By speaking well, speaking often, and living inspired. Have an absolutely fantastic day. Hey, Kathy, the answer is no. I do this from home. That's a long way away. But we got people. I'm sure we got some people out there. Actually, there's a gentleman that might be interested in that because he lives in San Diego. Great guy too. Great guy. All right, we'll chat. All right, here we go. Let's play a little music. What do you say, right? Brand and